Schools and universities have been used in 26 armed conflicts in the last decade. Attacking a school violates the laws of war. But the use of schools for military purposes is not unlawful. When fighting forces use a school, they not only endanger children's education, they actually put their safety and their lives at risk.
Whenever a school is bombed, or a school is destroyed, or if it is occupied by armed forces in a community, it is really torturous for the people of that community.
Mr. Yousafzai is an educational activist, but he is also very famous as the father of Malala. When she was 15 years old, Malala was almost killed by the Pakistani Taliban, who shot her in the head and the neck because she for girls' right to go to school.
I tell people that, look, Malala is not the only child who lost her childhood. Every child who lives, unfortunately, in conflict areas, they lose their childhood. We saw many schools occupied by the armed forces, and I think Pakistan is not an exception.
Mr. Yousafzai has personal experience with military use of schools because one of his own schools in Pakistan was occupied by Pakistani armed forces.
That building was used as base for fight against the Taliban. And when we entered, it was horrible because the furniture and everything, the stationery, it was just lying here and there, and nothing was in proper order. Everything was in a horrible condition. And even we saw the heads of the goats and sheep because they might have been slaughtered for the use of food for the troops.
Schools have been used as barracks, as bases, even as detention centers and torture chambers. In some cases, children are displaced entirely, but in other instances, they struggle to go to school alongside armed men. This creates a terrible environment for children's education. Soldiers have sexually exploited or harassed students or even recruited them to be soldiers. And in the worst instances, when the schools are attacked by opposing forces, students and teachers have been injured and even killed. During armed conflict, children experience so much violence. Schools should be places where they can learn, but also where they can be safe, where they experience a sense of normalcy and calm.
The states should make sure that a school is no more a base for the troops, no more a bunker or a barrack for the troops. Schools are the only place that gives hope for future, that gives hope for peace. That is the place where we train our children to be ready. We build them for the future.
The use of schools and universities for military purposes is a practice that is often overlooked. But it is a problem for which something can be done. And that's why we're urging states to join the Safe Schools Declaration and to implement the guidelines on protecting schools and universities from military use.
जब पढ़ाई अच्छा होगा सब दिन जाएंगे हम लोग अपने स्कूल इसलिए आगे चल के और कुछ बढ़ा सकते हैं तो आप कुछ हम लोग भी पढ़ेंगे और कुछ भी कर सकते हैं